guys, so quick little fun comparison video today. We're going to talk about the 1911 versus, in this case, the Glock 21, both in 45 ACP. This is a question that we've talked about many times on the podcast over the last, who knows how many years. Never made a video on it, thought we'd just have a little fun today and do a quick little comparison. Just for full disclosure, the 1911 is my favorite handgun. First handgun I ever owned. I think everybody should have a 1911 handgun in their collection. That's just my personal opinion. I'm going to take my personal opinion out of it and try to give you guys what I think is better overall for the average person who wants to put a 45 caliber handgun in their collection. And do they go with like the original 1911 or do they go with something more modern like a Glock 21? The Glock 21 I think is probably one of the most, if not possibly the most, modern 45 caliber handgun out on the market today. Don't know that for sure, don't know the exact statistics of sales and things like that, but if it's not the most, it's pretty close to the most popular 45 caliber modern handgun out there. So this is a good comparison here because I've been asked this question several times before. So first big comparison between these two is going to be capacity. Obviously this gun right here has 8 plus 1 in the chamber, that's 9. Sometimes they'll come with 7-round magazines, so 7 plus 1, that's only 8. This one came with 13 plus 1, so 14 rounds. So right off the bat, you're getting 5 more rounds than you would in the 1911. I've got plus 2 extensions in this, so it's 15 plus 1. Okay, so you're talking 16 rounds versus 9 rounds. So you're talking 7 rounds difference there. That's quite an advantage here. Another big major difference between the two of these is obviously going to be the frame construction. You've got solid steel, which yes, you can get polymer 1911s, you can get aluminum frame 1911s. They make up a very, very, very teeny tiny small portion of the 1911 market. Well over 99.9% of 1911s out there in circulation and on the market are steel framed. This, however, being polymer framed, makes a big difference, especially when it comes to weight. The other thing is going to be size. Now these two are fairly similarly sized guns front to back. Top to bottom, they're also similar, but obviously there's some difference here because of this plus 2 base plate. Where they kind of differ greatly is going to be in the width. The Glock 21 is considerably wider, at least as far as how it's going to feel in your hand, than the 1911. 1911 has a fairly slim grip. Now that's obviously because we're talking single stack versus double stack. That makes a big difference in the size of the grip of the gun. Another really big difference between the two of these is you've got single action hammer fired versus striker fired. So completely different manual of arms. Triggers are different. The way the gun functions is different. The potential issues you could have with the gun is different. It also makes a difference in the amount of moving parts in these guns. The 1911 has more moving parts internally than a Glock 21 does. 1911 also has a much, much, much better trigger than a Glock does. That being said, less moving parts, potentially less issues further on down the line. I don't know. Maybe that's up to you to decide. Another big thing is going to be the weight between these two because, again, solid steel, polymer frame. So let's just compare those two real quick. Let's take the magazines out of them first and kind of compare it, with the magazines out to what the weight difference is between these two. Okay, make sure we're on ounces there. I don't know if you guys can see that. Okay, we've got 36.95 ounces. So let's call it 37 ounces here. Okay, and the Glock, again, unloaded, 27 ounces. So that's 10 ounces difference between these two guns. That's significant, especially if you're talking about a carry gun. If you're not talking about a carry gun, it doesn't really matter. If you are talking about a carry gun, that is a significant weight difference between these two. Now, as far as fully loaded goes, let's load both of these up and see where we're at. The Glock fully loaded, going to be basically 40 ounces, 39.95. So it's gone up 13 ounces by being loaded. That being said, it's got more ammo in it than this one does. So 40 ounces there. Let's call this one 45.15, so let's call it 45 ounces. So now we've taken a 10 ounce difference and narrowed it down to a 5 ounce difference between these two guns just by loading up the ammo. Again, less ammo in this gun versus this gun, but again, if you're going to carry one of these, 5 ounces is a lot less of a difference than 10 ounces is, so maybe that's something that you can talk about. Look, when it comes right down to it, I think the best choice for most people, if you're looking to get a 45 in your collection and you want something that's going to work and you want something that's going to be efficient, probably the Glock is the best option. It's just a nice, simple design. It's more modern. It works. It's a little bit lighter, and it carries more ammo. For most people, that's probably going to be the better choice. However, as I said at the beginning of this chat, I love 1911s. 1911s are the classic, quintessential American handgun. I think everyone should have one in their collection. I absolutely love these things. This is my personal choice, but in general, I think everybody should have a 45 in their collection. And for most people, the best choice is probably something like this, more like a Glock. There you go. That's my opinion. So you got any questions, comments, anything like that, leave it down below, and we will talk to you guys later. Take it easy.